Hi there, this is Shannon. I am making another Wellness Wednesday video and going to talk about the need for limbic system rehabilitation in chronic physical and mental health symptoms. In my work, this is the number one reason why individuals are not healing, whether it be from working with traditional medical models, so your primary care practitioner or a specialist, or from the integrative and functional medicine model, um, because of limbic system dysfunction. And so I wanted to highlight that today, and show you where the limbic system is in the brain, explain it a little bit more and what health conditions that it can work for. I have an article on my website. It's called The Limbic System is the Anxiety Switch in the Brain, and this has all of the resources there. There is a self-assessment tool on there to determine whether or not you have limbic system dysfunction. And if you get five or more, if you answer yes to five or more on there, then that is indicative that you have limbic system um, opportunities. I will say I'm actually going to pull that up here. Sorry, I'm looking this other way. I have two monitors so that I can best give you the education and information. So a couple of the questions on that self-assessment are things like, do you experience brain fog or inability to concentrate? Do you suffer from low energy? Do you suffer from chronic joint or muscle pain? Do you find yourself constantly checking for symptoms? Do you have heightened sense of smell or taste? Do you have anxiety or panic attacks? Food sensitivities, sleep related issues, those kinds of questions. So go out there and fill that out, and then that can help you on your journey to understand where you're at. I'm just pulling up this presentation that I'm doing tonight. I'm part of an underground group of Institute of Functional Medicine practitioners. So doctors, practitioners, and healers and coaches of all kinds. And we get together every month or so and to talk about root healing information. And I'm sharing the work that I have been doing with limbic system rehabilitation. I'm a specialist in this area, and I do use a program for clients. I also have created programs. I've created a program for myself and for clients when I identified limbic system opportunities within my own body, been able to do that. But I use the DNRS system, the Dynamic Neural Retraining System. Most of the time, there are other, on my website, we'll cite more of this. There are other programs out there, and I'm not tied to one or the other. And I often act as support along someone using DNRS or using their own limbic system training, or sometimes we can create that together. I would suggest someone purchasing DNRS if it is within their budget and they can do that, because of the education component. It also comes with, doesn't come with, but there's, the program was created by Annie Hopper. She had her own chronic conditions. She's a counselor. And then she created this program, which is neuroplasticity based and limbic system retraining. And then there's Wired for Healing, a book by her. In the first half of the book explains limbic system dysfunction. And then the second half talks about healing stories that have used the program. There's some research going on there. I've vetted this program, used it with multiple clients. They've all healed or are significantly moving forward on their healing journey, and have read the book, and it's legit. It's probably the most widely published programs, and I love it because it is so CBT and neuroplasticity based that it's very, very effective. Okay, keep this short. Success stories in healing with DNRS. I do want to list these off so that you know that your diagnosis is not the end point. If you uncover limbic system healing opportunities, you can get underneath that puts your body into a rest and digest and repair state once healed. So here's what DNRS is healed: adrenal fatigue, anxiety, allergies of all kinds, arrhythmia, asthma, autoimmune, small intestinal bacteria growth, body temperature regulation, either hot or cold, brain fog, memory, chronic fatigue, see this a lot, chronic Lyme disease, see this a lot, chronic pain, see this a lot, chronic stress, cognitive function, constipation, diarrhea, IBS, depression, eating disorders, electrical hypersensitivity syndrome, environmental illnesses, fibromyalgia, big one. This is the biggest piece of fibromyalgia and chronic pain. Food sensitivities, Gulf War syndrome because of the environmental exposure, headaches, heavy metal toxicity, insomnia and sleep disturbances, lack of sex drive, leaky gut, mast cell activation syndrome, mold illness or SEERS, multiple chemical sensitivity, OCD, panic attacks, POTS or dysautonomia, PTSD, sensitivity to all of the things, light, sound, smell, taste, touch, skin condition, thyroid disorders, tinnitus or ringing in your ear, and trauma. Oh my goodness. What? Okay. How does the limbic system, what would happen when you heal the limbic system? Why would you do that? Number one, it's a motivation seat in the brain that connects rewards, openness to new experiences, and learning. This is why addiction, unhealed trauma, there's a struggle between the word center and the brain. This is the limbic system here. And then your limbic system is connected to your nervous system. And this is how it is connected with all of the functions within your bodies. So number two, it regulates the emotional responses, interprets emotions, and ties meaning to memories. The limbic system is your emotional and learning center of the brain. And when this gets stuck, clients get stuck in fear loops, focus on fearful and negative memories, and get stuck in trauma loops. Number three, fight, fear, and frozen responses live in the system. This is where when a limbic system gets hijacked, because you are living through a traumatic or a hard experience, whatever that may be for you. A lot of people say, oh, I don't have trauma because I didn't experience death or whatever. No, it could just be trauma is any negative experience that you don't immediately process. And so your limbic system gets activated. And this is why lifelong stress, childhood trauma, half of adults have an adverse childhood experience score of 5 or above, which leads to chronic illness, disease, mental or physical, or both, since they are bidirectional. Fibromyalgia isn't just chronic pain. It's also has a brain component. Fibromyalgia also is a diagnosis that is given to you when the root cause has not been identified. There is a root cause. I'm spreading this information because a lot of people are still seeking that out. And then the other reason, so 50% of individuals have a childhood adverse experience score that is indicative of lifelong chronic mental or physical health conditions, disease. 50% of adults have a chronic health condition. So it's very much tied together. However, you can heal the underlying root, which stops the disease from occurring. So number 4, how does limbic system rehab heal? The limbic system is how new memories, stored memories, and emotional content is driven. So this is where, not to tell you exactly where lies what, but long-term memories are the role of hippocampus. When this is impacted, someone can falsely rely on old wounded memories, which take someone further from healing. And then they'll keep revisiting that trauma, the trauma, every time you go back to that experience, it's heightened because you only remember the last time. So every time fear gets stacked on top of fear. And so clients end up isolating and avoiding things because of the limbic system. And it's not your fault because of how neurons that wire together. And when there's a crossfiring, because you dissociate, and low levels of dissociation exist in hardship, trauma, negative experience, stress, having a hard childhood. And then we unconsciously form faulty connections in the brain. Okay, so number 5, the hormones impact automatic functions. Pain, hunger, thirst, pleasure, sexual feelings, anger, and aggressions are all housed in the limbic system. So this is when the vagus nerve takes information about your blood pressure and tells your stomach how full it is. This is why we also train the vagus nerve, and mood, brain, and gut symptoms are present. And then attention and learning are housed in the limbic system. And I see ADHD often misdiagnosed because it's actually either trauma and or limbic system dysregulation, or both at the same time, as well as dementia and Alzheimer's because of that cognitive function. And also, it can be a poverty response. So, ADHD in certain populations, individuals who are non white, individuals that have been systemically repressed over generationally, it's a limbic system and that's trauma. So it was formed by DNRS was formed by Annie Hopper. She's a Canadian counselor who had the stories in the book. I'm not going to go through it because this is going to be a really long video. However, it was through her own adversity, and then I love how she ties trauma and neuroplasticity, because she did a ton of education and informed this program together to kind of hit the full picture of what needs to happen with limbic system rehab. So limbic system rehab is important because it's responsible for forming memories, determining the level of safety felt, and it assigns emotional significance to what we see, what we hear, what we feel, what we taste. This is why it's known as the seat of social and emotional intelligence, and is called the anxiety switch in the brain, hence the article that I wrote. So intensive DNRS is an intensive step-by-step program that's done online. It can be done in person. Oftentimes individuals don't feel well enough to go in person, so it's often done online. And then my services, I come and support someone to personalize the program for them and help them with reframing, as essentially trauma is expressed and released and new behaviors are tried on and formed. Okay. So I'm running through this program. So neurons that fire together, wire together. And it's due to this cross-firing, this misfiring, the body, that it stays in the survival mechanism. And with that, the brain it starts to unconsciously respond, and that becomes automatic response. And then you get individuals who get stuck in trauma loops. And there's a whole lot of ways that trauma loops can look, but it essentially is negative physical, psychological, and emotional patterns. There's pages of trauma loops that are listed, and it can look like anything. And it's very unique to each individual. But what the program will do is it will address someone's individual trauma loops, and then we work together to coach through scenarios in which, because the training is incremental, you're going to go out and face some of your fears, essentially, and prove your brain wrong through, there's like 9 steps that are involved in this. I'm doing a 45-minute presentation. I'm trying to summarize that up for you right now to get to the root. You can go to the DNRS website to take this quiz, or you can go to my website. But overall, if there's health practitioners out there watching that are integrative, functional, and holistic, the reason that clients and your patient aren't typically responding to detoxification strategies, supplements, diets, all of this is because of the trauma to the brain. Limbic system dysregulation is brain trauma, and not healing. You have to start with healing that first. Otherwise, none of the protocols will work. And this is why some medications don't work and supplements don't work. And you try to talk to someone about mindfulness and meditation and yoga with someone who has had lifelong limbic system dysregulation and has negative intrusive thoughts that keep coming back around. It's not going to work. It's actually impossible until we start to dispute the thoughts and start to change the behaviors. And I love this because for those of you that are self-healers out there, part of the program is future self visualization and training your brain to actually produce the chemicals, the feel-good chemicals that you have unconsciously denied due to limbic system dysregulation lifelong. So I am going to share aspects of this training and program. It's on my website. If you have questions, please get on my website, or if you're on Instagram, on Linktree, and schedule a free 15-minute consult with me. Every single consult, I give information to individuals so that they can move forward in their healing journey. And I'm a support, and I'm providing this information on all different types of mediums to get it out there, and will educate workplaces or counseling practices. If you have groups of individuals that aren't healing or moving forward non-typically, and this is oftentimes with mysterious and invisible illnesses as well. Individuals have no idea what's going on. They keep going around the medical merry-go-round. It's the limbic system, 100% of the time. I can confidently say that to you with all of the work that I've done over the years with individuals. So I'm going to leave this here. I'm going to go do a free consult right now. This is my gift into the universe this week, this Wellness Wednesday information, resources that I wish I had on my healing journey so you can go and start to embrace and unleash your inner healer. If you have questions, please schedule a free 15-minute consult. I am also, there's a link on the website to also get out there for newsletters. I'm sending my newsletter out today. That's more healing information. Check out the videos, check out my website, check out all the social media. I try to hit it as much as possible, but I also need to rest because of thy limbic system. I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks so much. Bye.